Good evening, sifters. It's Monday. It's time to do another thing. Welcome to Steaming Pile with Lauren and Tucker. I'm Lauren,
And I'm Tucker.
and it's time to get started. I don't have any sage pieces of advice because I figured out life. So we got we
That's
got
good.
the full we got the debit card thing sorted out. It's
Yeah.
great.
No, it's we figure out life that makes one of us. It's good that. So what? Do you know like where your debit card nonsense leaked?
No,
Huh?
and that's the worst part of it is I have no idea where or how, but I'm this close to like pulling all of my passwords and reverting back to pen and paper
Mm-hmm.
because that feels as safe as anything right now.
Well, as long as you got it sorted. That's the important thing.
Yeah, no, and honestly, like it was pretty easy to resolve. It's one of those things that I think bugs me about automated calling systems. Like, I get it, you have kind of an FAQ set of things that a computer can do. But I know that for myself, I try to fast track it to a representative pretty much every time.
A lot of people do, and a lot of companies are making it very hard for you to do that because they've caught on. They know that's what we're doing.
Yeah. The thing that gets me is when they'll be like, it'll talk so slowly, but it'll also have to like, push pound at the end of it. But I've already punched in all the numbers beforehand because I'm waiting for the last word of command, and then they give it and I'm gone. And it's like, there's an error because you didn't listen.
Yeah, some of the I've dealt with some really impressive ones, but it always is just your call volume cannot possibly. This cannot be better than waiting in a queue because we're going to be waiting in a queue anyway, and I don't know
Yes.
that a robot's going to be able to, right? Like I'm all for cognitive offloading to computers, but goodness,
Yeah.
come on, guys, figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Because it's like sometimes I don't know if my prompt does fit into the select few that they give me.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I feel that it's like, actually, can I just speak to a person and explain it? I feel like that'd be a lot faster than me listening through this 7 times to figure out what I actually need.
Yep, it's it's never going to change back, I think. Although you do see companies that say, "Oh, you don't have to talk to a computer; you just get a person," and that's
Yeah.
their way of doing customer facing goodwill.
Mhm.
And even if you have to wait in a queue for a little bit, it's not bad. I can multitask. I can listen to hold music while I'm doing something else. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't want to scream representative at my phone 10 times,
Well, in some places they don't even have that option. You have to
Yeah.
wait to push a number, or it's in some sort of like part of the cascade. Because when I was trying to get my debit card situation sorted out, you could talk to a representative, but it was like after you've gone down the branch a couple tiers, and it's like, but I need a person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Comcast is even worse. Every time I've called Comcast, I think I don't even remember how I got to a representative because it just keeps looping. You get into this loop of just prompts, and I don't care. Just I want to talk to someone, and I will be gone from your system. I will keep
Yeah.
paying you. This is the contract we have. Be nice to me, and I'll give you money. I could go elsewhere. Just please.
Yeah.
Oh. Who's your internet provider out there?
I have AT&T. I think there are other options available. Like I think Xfinity is another one that was an option, but AT&T has not been too bad. I've actually been impressed with what I've paid for and what I've gotten. There's probably in the like year and change that I've had them, there's probably only been like a day that I've had like just dropped connectivity. Occasionally it'll kick me off just for like 30 seconds in the evening, but I think that's when traffic spikes. So it's not bad. It's certainly better than what my parents have in the middle of nowhere, so I am very much content.
Yeah.
Like they struggle to watch 30-second videos.
Oof. That's
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
good at all.
Well, yeah. Well, and when you get out to the middle of nowhere, there's I think there's a John Oliver or a Patriot Act episode where they go into like how companies will finagle contracts. So like we'll let you cover this area so you're the only provider and you don't have to offer a better service as long as you stay out of this area where we're offering the only amount of service. So it's like a under the table sort of monopoly over certain regions.
Yeah, ISPs do some real shady stuff just to like sell services, and I know that they're really struggling selling cable now that everyone's cutting the cord, which I mean is I guess you just need to keep up with the times. All these ISPs, all these like content providers, they are just getting it that it's never coming back.
Yeah.
Which is mind blowing because this trend has been happening for at least 5 years.
Because I remember back when like Netflix first opened the gates for streaming, like that was when a ton of people cut the cord right away.
Yeah.
And then Prime entered the arena. Hulu upped its game because Hulu like was doing streaming for a while, and their whole thing was they also had like a huge backlog of television. That was how I watched the A-Team, was because they had like tons of super old shows on their provider, but then they like stepped up their game, started doing original stuff. So I'm impressed with what they've been able to do.
Yeah, Hulu.
But yeah.
What's the NBC one called? Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah, they have a massive backlog. Really old stuff.
Which makes sense if it's a whole network.
Yeah.
That would be the incentive. Is, you have access to NBC specific shows. Now, do I want a whole service that's just NBC? No, but do your thing, guys.
Yeah, and I think, and that's something that really worries me. The more you see these streaming services fragment.
Yeah.
Like it used to be, and this wasn't ever a big problem for cable television. Like you paid for premium channels, but that's because they were premium channels. Now you have all these streaming services splintering off. I don't know if CBS has one. I don't think it has a catchy name, so I don't remember it. There's Peacock.
It's like CBS All Access. Yeah, it's just their channel.
And it's
Disney
just,
Plus.
Yeah. I don't like that trend because it's almost worse than cable television, and that's already a pretty low bar. Yeah.
Well, because the whole thing with cable is like, you would have to buy a bundle to get the channels you wanted, but even the channels that you weren't after would still have like things you could passively enjoy. Like I wouldn't watch any of the content on USA, but USA would sometimes show movies, and those were generally pretty good movies.
Yeah.
But with these streaming services, they all cost the same per month roughly, but to get all of them together is not cost effective at all. Yeah. And there's probably a decent amount of overlap. I actually don't know what the overlap is of shows.
Once someone who owns intellectual property decides to stream it themselves, they pull it from everywhere else. House used to be on Netflix, and now Peacock exists, it's on Peacock now.
So is that why the Office left? Is because NBC's thing was coming up?
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know what show Friends was, or what channel Friends was originally on, but that would make sense if they were on NBC too.
Oh yeah. Does TBS own the rights to Friends now?
Actually, I think they do. Yeah, because anytime I watched it, like there would be blocks of it in the morning. It'd be like Friends and Seinfeld, and they would show those back to back, and they'd show it with one other 90s sitcom. I can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm. I'm debating, and I have this problem because at least with TV shows, I'm a completionist. It's just, I don't know if I want to go through Friends. I don't know if I can take it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's even TV before the concept of binging, and so it's not meant to be binged.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a thing that, like, TV today is so painstakingly crafted from start to finish, because it all has to fit together. But like shows then, it's like whatever happened week to week. This character is played by this actor this episode, then a different actor next episode. People won't remember that episode was like 3 weeks ago and there are no reruns.
Yeah.
So I think that would be what bugs me about watching non-bingeable television, is just how it was just meant to be syndicated. It didn't have to be all connected, and so continuity errors were definitely a thing.
Oh yeah. It's definitely, there's definitely a market still for at least older sitcoms. What's really interesting is that they're all kind of gone. And I think you mentioned this last week. It's amazing to see that sitcoms are actually still being made.
Yes.
And and that, like, in the back of my head, I knew that was true, but it didn't actually click with me. Well, first off, I didn't know that The Big Bang Theory ended. But it...
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it ended a year or two ago.
Oh my gosh, we've lived in a world without it for that long.
Right? I just thought that it would just stick around until one of the actors died. But, like, I figured that it would be... But shows like that, it's really interesting to see that they're still being made, because there's so many shows, the most popular shows, that aren't at all like that. It's such a dead format, which isn't sad. It's not one of the formats that I miss, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the shows are funny and it's nice to look back on, but I'm glad they aren't making new ones as much. It blows my mind that they are. And I don't watch television enough to know what those are. Last Man Standing is the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the last ones I remember being made.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that it's called that then.
True. I think Kevin James got a sitcom way last minute too.
Oh, Kevin Can Wait. Oh my God.
Yes, that's what it was.
I have not heard good things about that. Oh, there was this weird thing between season 1 and season 2 where the lead actress left for some, I don't remember why.
Was it because it was Leah Remini and it had something to do with Scientology? Was that connected to that at all?
They brought Leah Remini back in season 2 because she was popular and it reminded people of King of Queens. The lead actress, I can't remember, but it just, I feel like the way they handled it, they made it, I think it was only there for 2 seasons anyway, so the way they handled it, I don't know if she died in the show, or for some reason in my mind I keep going back to the thought that he killed her in the show, which doesn't I don't know why I'm thinking that. That might have been just a fan theory that I read just offhandedly, and that's just stuck in my head.
That would have been really interesting if that were the case.
Mm-hmm. I would, if that was the plot point, I'd watch the show. Because that's just so weird. That would be such a weird thing to do. But also, I couldn't help but watch it to figure out how the show that was one thing just took a 180 and became almost like a crime documentary. That would be amazing.
Yes.
Of course they didn't do it, but to my knowledge, I haven't seen it, nor am I going to.
Yeah. A thing that I thought of, and I'd have to actually watch sitcoms to kind of realize if that is indeed the case, is a lot of the sitcoms in the 90s were about, people our age or a little older figuring out life. And now a lot of the sitcoms that we see tend to be more family oriented and especially man of the house oriented sitcoms. I know that's not the case completely. It's not necessarily a blanket trend, but I am curious if there has been a gradual aging of the sitcom protagonist to kind of accommodate who's actually watching them.
Almost certainly. Because now that you said that, I can't think of a analogous show to Friends that's going on. Well, at least ever since How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
But that ended in what, 2012? No, a little later than that. 12 to 14 maybe. I don't exactly remember.
Yeah.
But
2014 sounds correct.
But I just can't remember for the life of me because you're right, a lot of them are family oriented now. Last Man Standing, The Middle, if that's still on.
Modern Family.
Oh, Modern Family. Modern Family.
Goldbergs.
Oh, the Goldbergs, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like the Goldbergs. I've seen a couple episodes. It's all right, this is okay. I kind of like this. And it's...
I like Jeff Garlin.
Jeff Garlin? Oh, yeah. Jeff Garland's great in that. He's great in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't think I've seen him in something that he wasn't good in. He's very good at playing the characters he plays.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mentioned Curb, that makes me think of It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny, I think, persisted just because it took the sitcom formula, removed the laugh track, and just played it completely straight. So it's still a comedy, but it's all still very situation oriented. And it's the way it's been able to survive. And tons of people have talked about how it's because it's subverted that it's been the anti-sitcom, that's what it's done. And I think that's the case with today, is everything has to be deconstructed for it to be, like, we can't put anything out for face value anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. That reminds me. Tangent. There was a Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She got an award, a British award, and Donald Glover gave a speech at that award, and he mentioned that we're just so desensitized to these tropes because we have such an endless access to content.
Yeah.
And of course, classic Donald Glover fashion. He just said it offhandedly. It was just this massive, profound thought, but it's true. We have such an endless waterfall of just stuff that we can consume that nothing surprises us anymore.
Yeah.
The point he was making was that Fleabag surprised him. You should, if you haven't watched it yet. I
do need to see it. It's one that's like circled my periphery. I know it's probably one that I would enjoy. I just never got around to it.
It is so good. It is. I finished it last week, and there's only 12 episodes. It's okay. It's so good, especially the second series. And the second series is just, it's art, and also Andrew Scott, because hot priest.
Yeah.
But it's nice because the second series, 6 episodes, because the whole concept, I'm not going to spoil it, but the whole concept of that series is a futile relationship, I guess, a futile romance. And that's 6, and I was so happy when I watched it because it finally replaced my previous impossible romance, which was a 6-episode string of episodes in the 4th season of Louis. And I don't think you can go around saying anything about Louis C.K. as your favorite anymore. So I'm glad that it's finally replaced. I'm glad that I finally got that replaced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Louis is a good show, but Fleabag is a really, really good show. It's so good. Watch it. Yeah. Watch it. Stop letting it circle your periphery or whatever you said. Just watch it. Just watch it.
Okay. Yeah, no, because my fiance and I just finished Full Metal Alchemist, the 2003 series, which was spectacular. I don't know if you've seen any of it.
No, bit.
But there's like an episode, probably 7 episodes in, with like the little girl and the dog. And the funny thing is despite how online I was, despite the fact that I had seen like the Wonder Twins t-shirt with the 2 of them on it, totally did not see the ending of that episode coming. Which was fun. It's been fun to engage in something that I genuinely do know nothing about.
Yeah.
And experience it all for the first time. And that I think is an upside to watching international media, where their standards and their tropes are different.
That's very true. Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think anything about it, any content really, but most specifically TV shows, nothing sucks more than having a predictable television show, or I guess a movie as well. And it just, because you can see where it's going, and as soon as you see where it's going, and as soon as you see that it is going in that direction, it loses you. You just check out. Right?
Yeah.
You start looking for something else.
Yeah. And I think the opposite, where they just start throwing things to do things, is the like opposite end of the spectrum, but an equal problem. Because my brother and I used to watch this show on Freeform called The Bold Type, which was very much like, 20-something girls living their dreams, working for a magazine in New York. You know, they're friends, they got their relationship problems and all that. And it was so much fun to watch with him because we would just yell at the TV. And like after season 3, I'd lost access to watching it, so I just stopped. And if we couldn't watch it together, there's no point in watching it.
Sure.
But I still followed like the show's social media pages, and they would play clips from the show. And the more clips I see from it, the more I'm like, this was not a bad decision to stop watching.
Yep.
Or they're just conjuring plot lines to make it seem dramatic, and it's like, it's not dramatic, it's just annoying. But at the same time, I do enjoy pulpy sensationalist things. I once bought an entire book series that was set in like high society New York, turn of the century, and it was so garbage, but I loved every single book in that series.
Sometimes you just like garbage. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But no, I do appreciate prestige television, so I'm definitely gonna have to check out Fleabag. And Atlanta. I've been needing to watch Atlanta forever.
Oh, Atlanta's so good.
I have only seen, I can't remember even how I saw it, but I've seen the Teddy Perkins scenes. Those are frightening.
Yes, yeah. The whole second season is a little more conceptually adventurous than the first one, but the Teddy Perkins episode, and I can't remember his name, Lakeith.
Yes, I love Lakeith Stanfield.
Stanfield, that's it. Everything he's in, I just he's so good. He's so good, and he plays. I don't even remember his name. Damn it. In the show, but he plays that character really well. He was in Knives Out, very good.
Yeah.
Sorry to Bother You. I watched that like last month for the first time.
Yeah, that's one that's on my list. I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah. But yeah, you should watch Atlanta. I just finished You're the Worst as well, which I guess is somewhat similar to Fleabag.
How was that? I remember when they would show previews on FX.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, not like, Fleabag good, but it was still a very good show.
Yeah.
And it at 5 seasons long, it does enough to stay fresh. I feel like it just straddles the line between fresh and boring, but you can't help but like kind of connect with the characters in like the worst possible ways. And I think that's the point, because like the two main characters, they're just horrible people.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But then it's like, it's that relating to, I'm better than them, or, I guess if they're doing it, it's not so bad, or like, at least I'm, quirky like Gretchen, but no, you're just a bad person. But, it's whatever. So a lot of people are just terrible, no good, very bad people.
Well, I mean, yeah. And I think there is a measure of fun that comes with living vicariously through those situations, of letting those experiences happen to you in a very safe and controlled way. It's how I feel about watching Almost Famous, where I see all of these situations that I'm like, this is bad. These are children. These are adults. This should not be happening. However, were I there?
Yeah. No, I cannot recommend that enough. I don't know. I just for some reason I can convince myself, and I'm 100% sure we've talked about this in prior episodes, but like I can convince myself to watch television more than I can convince myself to watch movies, even though movies are just as good. I mean, and I get that we're in the golden age of television, but really there are a lot of good movies that are just killing it just as much.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I will sit down and watch a movie, but I will not sit down and watch television. Because I have the completionist mindset where it's like, all right, if I start it, there's so much to go. But with a movie, that's a 3-hour commitment max.
Right. See, that's frightening. 3 hours of just sitting and and that's, I mean, I haven't watched The Irishman for that very reason. Or even 2.5 hour long movies. That just sounds so long. So I have to force myself once a week to watch a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll generally, if I can find one that's like 90 minutes, that's like the sweet spot, and I'll usually put one on, especially if it's one I've seen before.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was editing a book, so I put on the Lizzie McGuire movie, watched that first time in a long time. They shouldn't let 14-year-olds go to Europe with a single chaperone, but and then like A Hard Day's Night, I watch that all the time, just because it's 90 minutes. It's basically music. Just pop it on and go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think on Tuesday, I'm actually gonna go to a theater and see Tenet, because
Ooh.
I have not seen a Christopher Nolan film in IMAX yet.
Ooh.
And I want to, and I feel like this is a good one to see. I wish, oh hi Kat, I wish that I could go back and see Inception or any of the Dark Knight films in IMAX.
Ooh.
Because
Yeah.
Interstellar.
That would have been crazy.
I want them to just start rescreening, just to have a day, just a marathon, because they do that. They do a Christopher Nolan marathon in just one IMAX theater, and you just buy tickets and just sit and just get bathed in just like the
It's so
like
good.
4 elephants. No, it's more than 4 elephants tall. What's the metric? They like 8 school buses long. It's an absurd screen.
Yeah, that sounds absurd. Like 8 school buses sounds wrong.
Okay, well, it probably is. It's 70 millimeter print. I don't know. It's pretty big.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I simultaneously don't believe you, but I also believe you.
I know they use school buses as the unit of measurement. I don't think it's 8.
Yeah, no, because now that I have my debit card again, I can go and see Bill and Ted Face the Music at the drive-in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm so excited about that. And our drive-in's been pairing it with some interesting choices. So, like, I think on one screen it will do Face the Music with Spider-Man Far From Home, which I still haven't seen. But it was tempting to go and see. Basically, once Endgame came out, I was content to leave the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Closed. Thank you.
Like, what are they gonna do from here? I like what they'll give some characters sequels. Not the Black Panther, but they'll give some characters sequels. They'll maybe try to construct another arc. I don't know how they'll do it in a unique way.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Well, because Black Widow's finally getting her movie, which, you know, I am kind of excited about, but I mostly want to see David Harbour be the size of a refrigerator and punch things. And I understand there are beautiful women in that film. I'm strictly here for David Harbour. But yeah, like, they're probably going to try to get more movies out of Tom Holland. But yeah, I think part of it was they wanted Chadwick Boseman to be like the new face of the franchise, and regrettably, like, I didn't even know he had cancer.
Yeah, very few did.
Yeah.
I always compare celebrity deaths, how they make me feel, to how the death of Robin Williams made me feel, because I don't think because that one hit me hard. I don't think another one will hit me as hard. Maybe Jim Carrey when he finally dies, but I think Chadwick Boseman's death wasn't as bad, but I did still feel something, which is like rare, because I usually don't care if a celebrity dies. But like that one actually made me feel something. It's like, whoa, okay. And I think it's because I was so invested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least at one point. And it's like, and also the fact that he was like 43, and that's like, yikes, I'm more than halfway there. It just that kind of thing. I don't know. I can't really explain it, because I'm like, I'm a big Iron Man fan. Like, the Black Panther was a good movie. It's never going to out-cool Iron Man for me. I don't think anything's going to out-cool Iron Man for me. So, but it's still like, I still felt something. It's like, huh, all right. I can't explain why.
Yeah, no, it's I think just because it was sudden and unexpected. Like, some celebrities, you find out they die, like Olivia de Havilland died this year. She was 104, and she was like one of the last figures of golden age of Hollywood. And like that was sad, but it's like, you know, that's a really long career, really long life.
She's 104. Yeah.
Yeah. And so for Chadwick, like his career was really brief, very bright. He was in so many things, and like so many culturally important things, at least, you know, in terms of African American history, because he played like Jackie Robinson, he played James Brown, he played Thurgood Marshall. Like that's a lot to do in, you know, up to 6 years, I think.
Yeah. No, he was really good. And you could tell that he was an actor. He knew what he was doing in every scene. He had very good, like, he controlled every scene that he was in. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think they did want him to be the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And now who is it going to be?
I don't know, because Thor's getting another movie, but I imagine they'll try to phase him out, maybe in favor of Valkyrie. They might give more to Shuri and let her kind of take whatever they wanted for Black Panther forward. But yeah, because I'm pretty sure Robert Downey and Chris Evans just kind of peaced out.
Yeah, all their arcs concluded very nicely. So
and sometimes it's okay to walk away from things, to leave them, and to not do them anymore.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's I think that's why The Big Bang Theory ended. I think Jim Parsons just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, which that's the thing. Gosh, what's his name? Simon Helberg. He's actually really good.
Yeah.
And he has like a bit part in A Serious Man, but it's one of my favorite scenes in that whole movie, because he plays like this junior rabbi that the main character is coming to ask like questions about, you know, his life, because his, you know, he's not getting tenure, his wife wants a divorce, everything. So he goes to the junior rabbi to ask a question, and he's like, just, it's about perspective, and just that whole scene is flawless because he's so earnest, but so awkward. That movie's also just fantastic because of the character of Cy Abelman. I forget the actor's name, but it's one of the most sinisterly voiced, charming, charismatic villains in a movie.
What movie is this again?
A Serious Man. It's a Coen Brothers film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I already like it. I haven't seen it, but I already like it.
It's real good.
Yeah. And that's kind of the curse with very, very popular sitcoms or very popular media that goes on for a while. Simon Helberg will never not be known as Howard Wolowitz.
I know, because that was the name that I thought of first, and not his real name. Yeah.
And that's just a shame, because he's an alright actor. I like him. He was in Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, and he nailed that. And if you can nail a Aaron Sorkin part, then you're a good actor. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you'll just never outgrow that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe in Guns Akimbo. It was very, very weird seeing him like curse in an American accent. It was just like,
Yeah. And his is even more unfortunate because he's probably been away from that as long as he was in that.
Yeah, Harry Potter has ended so long ago.
Was that 2011 that the last film came out?
Was it? Harry Potter 11, yeah. Holy moly, 11.
Yeah, so he's been out of those movies as long as he was in them.
Yeah. I don't know. Guns Akimbo was a pretty mediocre movie. But he's been in some real good stuff. But it's it's very hard to see him as not that. I'm just looking through movies. He's Swiss Army Man. That's right, Army Man.
I really like Paul Dano a lot.
Yes.
That is one reason I am actually considering seeing the new Batman movie.
Is he in the new Batman movie?
He is. Ooh. He's playing like the Riddler, and the Riddler comes across as very Jigsaw-esque from the trailer.
I could get behind that.
Well, because when they mentioned it was going to be him, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's real good. And there was someone who tweeted that like the goal of the Riddler is to be this squirrely smart guy who looks like he needs to be punched in the face, which means Paul Dano's gonna be perfect.
That sounds like Paul Dano. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yes.
I love him in There Will Be Blood.
Oh yeah.
And he's really good in Ruby Sparks, and he's really good in Love and Mercy. He plays a really good Brian Wilson.
He was in Prisoners, right?
He was, yeah.
That performance gave me chills.
That's a movie that like I know is good,
Mm-hmm.
but I know is going to be so viscerally upsetting.
Oh yeah.
That I just have not brought myself to see it because I know that I need to set aside time.
Yeah. It's again amazing film, and I always line up for Hugh Jackman, but like it just that whole film and how it ends, it's just annoying, and it'll take some time to process. You should watch it though; it's good. You'll like it.
I'm sure I'll like it because the whole thing with Paul Dano's character is like he's a neighbor kid. They think he kidnapped the girls.
Right.
And he's just not good at interpersonal communication, so it's not helping his case.
Right.
Yeah. And I've seen screenshots of him and like because I've read like parents' guides because when I'm like unsure if I want to like dip into a movie, I'll read parents' guides just to kind of brace myself for what's in it. And that's a lot of violence in that movie.
Oh, there is. Yeah. There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit of violence. Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal's in it too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, and violence is weird. That's a thing that like I have watched very violent films, but then there are some that I like just can't do because like John Wick was how me and my fiance got together. That was what we saw for her date night, and those are pretty violent movies.
Oh yeah. But
for some reason, like those are fine. But the thought of Prisoners, I'm like, that's scary violence.
Yeah. It can be, but it's not. It doesn't feel unjustified.
I mean, yeah. No, I figure if it's a Denis Villeneuve, Dennis Villanova. I don't know what his name is, but I figure if it's him, it's probably a good movie.
Okay, yeah. I got you. I smell what you're saying.
Whoever's directing Dune, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a good film. Violence aside, you should watch it.
Eventually, I want to go through like all of the recommendations because I've built up a manageable backlog of those that I feel like I can actually clear through them.
Yeah.
If I watch them immediately.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know that there are so many good movies out there. I just can't bring myself to watch them, and it's such a shame. I really need to.
Yeah, and I think there are even a handful that I'm like, it's okay that I never see this. I'm fine. I feel that way about Tarantino movies, where I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I know too much now. About the movies, about him. I'm good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like what and what's interesting is that whenever because I don't make movie reviews like you do. The only reason I review media is if something just absolutely tragically just sucked. And if I can make it funny in order to do that. But what's really interesting is that for all of the media that there is, it's very hard for me to find something that like sucks in that kind of specific way. And like I don't know, like there are a lot of bad films in existence.
Oh yeah,
like really bad, just like no fun to watch. But like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't suck in the same way that something like Cool Cat or a Halloween Puppy sucks, right? Like and I feel like it has everything to do with the effort that was put in.
It does come down to effort. and an unwillingness to participate in the backlash. If you're willing to have fun with it, I think that's why The Room has persisted, is Tommy Wiseau has been able to spin that into something that works for him.
Yes.
And that is what makes the difference.
Yes. There's a movie worse than The Room. Like, worse in every way.
Be.
What?
There's gotta be.
It's called After Last Season. And this film has gotten it has amassed this like online following. I think they call themselves the Pineapple Club. I feel like I've seen this in the Ralph the Movie Maker thing. And like I watched it. I have a copy of it, and there's no effort put into this thing. It's amazing that they actually got people to do it. It's like that. Wow. The meme of the people auditioning for something. You could shop at 6 stores or just one, and then they strike a pose. It's like that before an entire movie.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There are a handful of just bad movies, but most people have covered them pretty thoroughly.
Yes.
Because like Ralph covers a ton of them. I Hate Everything covered a bunch of them. Your Movie Sucks combs through a lot of them. And then just like people all over, like the Neil Breen films have gotten much coverage, and they're a trip.
Yeah.
And like, the one that's coming back under fire is Shane Dawson's movie, because he basically torpedoed his own career, and so people are watching his bad movies, and those are bad.
Shane Dawson's movies. He has movies?
Yeah, he had one called Not Cool that came out in 2014, and it's not good.
Oh. How is it not good?
You know, like that very specific brand of comedy in like Epic Movie or Movie 43, where it's just gross and offensive, but without a punchline?
Yes.
It's that for 90 minutes.
Oh.
And yeah.
But like, the Epic Movie does it well. Scary Movie does it well. I can't imagine he does it well.
Oh no, certainly not.
Okay.
That's why it is, I guess, more Movie 43 than anything else. That's a baffling movie.
Movie 43? I don't think I've ever heard of this one.
Ooh, okay. So, just a brief summary of who's in it.
Okay.
I need to look it up to remind myself, because it's a list. Goodness.
I'm bracing myself. My body is ready.
Yeah, let me just pull up the full cast here. You got Hugh Jackman, Kate Winslet, Seth MacFarlane, Naomi Watts, Liev Schreiber, J.B. Smoove, Chris Pratt, Anna Faris, Kieran Culkin, Emma Stone, Richard Gere, Justin Long, Jason Sudeikis, Uma Thurman, Kristen Bell. It just continues. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Chloe Grace Moretz, Patrick Warburton, Gerard Butler, Johnny Knoxville, Halle Berry, Terrence Howard. Just a laundry list of the movers and shakers.
And what is it about?
It is an anthology film, a series of short vignettes, and it's disgusting.
Okay, so that told me nothing. I guess I'll have to watch it.
No. Like, the best sketch in the whole movie is this kid is homeschooled, and so to give him the full homeschooling experience, to give him a full high school experience, his parents opt to both teach him and bully him relentlessly, just so he gets the full high school experience. But no, the thing that like most people remember is this segment in which Hugh Jackman goes on a date, I believe with Kate Winslet, and he has testicles on his neck. that is about the bar the movie sets.
Hugh Jackman.
Yes. Academy Award winner, probably. Hugh Jackman. Testicles, maybe even on his chin. I don't quite remember the placement.
Oh, that's a ripoff of Men in Black. The Balchinian.
Yes.
Wow, yeah. That's a shame. But I mean, it's Hugh Jackman. He'll pull it off. He'll take the role and do one because there's a new Hugh Jackman. I need to see this film. I need to see it. This sounds. I can't even. I don't even know. Already,
it's just a hodgepodge of garbage.
Love to see it.
It's a film that I appreciate when other channels talk about movies like that, so I don't have to actually watch it.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I'll do it. I'll torture myself. I don't know, because I liked Epic Movie, and the scary movies were okay. I mean, it sounds like movie 43 isn't actually poking fun at anything like those movies are. Instead, it's just it just exists.
Yeah, and it's the story of how it's made is weird because it's like a series of favors, and it was like, well, if you're in it, you can direct your segment, and so it's like you could get a directing credit too. But it was just, it was a mess.
Yeah. I came across a Reddit thread the other day of movies that you wish just didn't exist. And I'm trying to remember what was on it. I hadn't heard of a lot of these, but I felt like... Here, if there was one movie you could completely delete from reality, what would it be? I just want to remember... The top answer, and maybe you can attest to this, I don't know if you've seen it, the Fahrenheit 451 movie, just for the irony. Was that any good?
Well, which one? Because there are technically two now. Because there's like a 1961 from Francis Truffaut. It's directed by a French guy.
Yeah.
Which was okay. It was weird because the actress who played Clarice also played the main character's wife. So it added some weird confusion. But there was one that came out in like 2016 with Michael B. Jordan and Michael Shannon, which should have been great, but it wasn't. And I shouldn't say it wasn't great. I haven't seen it. But yeah, see, and with questions like that, I think the impulse is to throw out a bad movie, but I think it'd be more interesting to throw out just like a very culturally relevant one just to see what happens.
When you say culturally relevant, what do you mean?
Well, like, not that this would be my answer, but like the film Joker had a very large impact culturally, societally.
Yeah.
What is a world without Joker?
Oh, yeah.
Just throw it out. Or like 2016 Ghostbusters is also an easy answer, but I think just so it could be released as normal and we didn't have the weird marketing that happened before it, so it could just be an average comedy.
Yeah. That
wasn't great. And maybe it's because I didn't grow up with Ghostbusters, but I don't know. How do you feel about the original Ghostbusters? Because I always thought it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but it certainly isn't in my top any number of films. Like it
didn't seem like a movie worth getting that worked up about, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's fine. It's a good film.
Yeah. Like I like Harold Ramis a lot.
Yes.
I love Harold Ramis, and I like Rick Moranis a lot. But yeah, it's just like, really, we're gonna... Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the complaints with the 2016 Ghostbusters is just that it either tries too hard or it just fell flat, and that it was not only predictable but also it was just what's the word I'm looking for? Not campy. The jokes weren't good. Yeah. It was very poorly written. Which is a shame because you have all that like acting talent there. And you could have gone this like really cool, unique direction, and you just resorted to really subpar jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do think those actresses are funny, and I think choosing a bunch of SNL cast members was the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Their improv styles don't lend themselves to blend together well.
That's right. It's not that the writing was bad, it's that it wasn't written. That's right. I forgot, yeah.
The funny thing was, I thought Leslie Jones's character was the funniest one, and she was the one that people got the most upset about. Because when her character walks in, like, she opens a door and it's just a room full of mannequins, she just closes the door and leaves. That was the funniest joke in the movie. But yeah, and like, there were just too many crutches that they relied on for those characters. And I get it, there were technically crutches that, you know, Bill Murray's playing Bill Murray. That's his whole shtick.
Yeah.
But like, Melissa McCarthy doing all the physical comedy, Kristen Wiig being awkward, and Kate McKinnon being weird. There wasn't enough more there.
Yeah, that's...
Because I think if you take the comedy out of Ghostbusters, there's still a decent paranormal movie. You take the comedy out of the 2016 Ghostbusters and there's not much left.
Yeah, there really isn't. Yeah. I don't know.
Screenwriting 101.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I just, and it's a shame that, like, I don't know, this year we haven't seen a lot of movies get released.
Yeah.
And I don't know if come next year, if there'll just be this massive torrent of films getting released. That'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I think some studios are giving up and they're like, all right, well, I guess the year's a wash, we may as well throw it out. Like the personal history of David Copperfield with Dev Patel. I was so excited for that to come out in May, and then it got postponed. And I think they're just like, yeah, fine, we'll release it next month or something. And the same thing with Wonder Woman 1984. I was really excited for that one. And they're finally just going to drop it in October, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, I'm big excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious what 2021 will be in terms of movies. Like, which ones got to film at all, which ones just waited. If they're just going to be like, we're just releasing it, it's fine.
Yeah. And it's just a question of how many films are the studio sitting on that we don't already know about.
Yeah, some movies get stuck.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was a movie? Valley Girl. That was a movie that got stuck. The 2020 Valley Girl, that was supposed to come out in like 2017. But because Logan Paul was in it and that was at the height of one of his controversies, maybe the Forest one, they just didn't release it. They just waited. So they finally dropped it this year.
Well, I guess that raises the interesting question. Why would you cast Logan Paul?
I don't know.
Well, for anything. That just...
Yeah. Well, like, I even said in my review that he fills the role of, like, jock prep asshole boyfriend of 1980s movies very well.
Gee, I wonder why that is.
It's, yeah, could it be the dumb blonde hair double polo?
Yeah. It's a real head scratcher.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. But it's, I feel like, and I don't know what the situation is like there. I just found out today that I'm probably not going to go back to the office. I'm definitely not going back for the rest of the year. But what's really interesting, we got all these, like, you know, our office is probably going to open in January, but what's really mind-blowing is that there are a lot of restaurants with more relaxed restrictions.
Yes.
Which is mind-blowing, stupid. If I'm going to get the virus, it's going to be on my way to work. I take the train. So it's like...
Oh, yeah, goodness.
Calm down, people. It'll be January. We'll probably have a vaccine by then. But what I'm saying, what's interesting is that the movie theaters are opening.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason not to just release stuff now, other than timing.
Yeah, because I think they're still afraid that they could release it, but then not make their money back. And
yeah,
because, like, yes, they're open, but will people go and buy them?
I hope so.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it hurts the studio or if it hurts the theater more.
The theater. The studio can recoup on streaming. The theaters,
True.
it's the theaters that are in danger.
Yes. Which hurts my soul.
Yes.
So much. I went to movies by myself all the time. That was like my favorite thing to do. I saw so many movies by myself, even just this year, in the months leading up to that. I think the last one I got to see in theaters was Uncut Gems, which shows just how long this has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The big reason I like theaters, well, first off, I can never get popcorn right. And second off, I have a 55-inch television, really good audio, but I share a wall. Alternatively, I can go to the movie theaters, have a screen larger than my entire apartment, and crystal clear, probably 11.2 channel surround sound audio, and I see the film the way it was intended. Not every film is worth it, but some films are.
Yes.
Like the last couple Avengers, I assume Tenet will be. Uncut Gems was probably a good candidate for this as well. So it's like that's why you go to theaters. You go to theaters because it's not the experience of the theater, it's the experience of the movie inside the theater. Because you're never going to be able to replicate that at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get close, but you're never gonna beat IMAX. IMAX, you can't. You're never gonna beat something that's the height of the Empire State Building, right? Like that's just.
Yeah, I have to see if mine's open. They're definitely doing things for like private parties, like you can book a party.
Makes sense.
And but they might be open, and if that's the case.
Mine does reserved seating, so they put two seats between groups of people, and that's how they're solving the problem. Yeah,
I don't have to deal with the people sitting next to me. I saw Parasite, and a guy answered his phone during the climax of the film. I will kill you.
People need to be sterilized.
Yes.
Yeah. What's so important? What could possibly be so important? Especially in the middle of Parasite. What could possibly be so important?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't answer your phones in theaters. That's the epitome of stupid.
Yeah, don't even look at it. If you are living a life that you cannot be apart from something for 2 hours, 3 hours max.
Yeah.
Goodness, that's a sucky existence.
Yeah. Not only that, but if that's what you're doing, then why are you trying to get away from it for 2-3 hours if you know it's not going to work?
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
And I get it. You have kids, you want to take kids to movies because you want to go see a movie, but
yeah, drop them off at Toy Story.
Yeah. People who can't just sit in a theater. And I'm not even talking about people who do have to move. I have no problem with that. I'm talking about couples who will buy a ticket but sit in the same seat. That's what I have issues with.
I'm sorry.
A friend and I had gone to see Knives Out, and this teenage couple, they were sitting in the same chair, had a blanket, and I felt so old because I wanted to yell at them. But I loved the movie too much, so I didn't.
Oh, they were definitely touching each other underneath the blanket. There's no question. There was
Oh yeah.
There was some petting. There was. Oh yeah. No doubt. You don't even need to be in the same seat for that. Your arms are long. It doesn't matter. Okay.
They're deep chairs. They're very broad chairs.
Oh, I'm sure it was deep and broad all around. That's how those things usually work.
Yeah. That's how they get started.
Yeah.
Goodness. But no, if my theaters are open again, I'm so excited. I just hope they have concessions. I do actually like getting concessions at the theater. That's part of the whole thing.
Oh, that didn't even occur to me. Oh, they better have popcorn. I know. Pardon the pun. I'm going to be real salty if they don't have popcorn. Because I like to pop my own popcorn, and I've tried so hard to get as close as I can. I've gone so far as to I bought ghee butter. And I never thought I
Oh,
would
wow.
because I just, clarify my own butter. It's like, whatever. But ghee butter is like with extra water removed. And I tried it. It was closer, but I still cannot get it because I cannot get the distribution. Like they just squirt pumps of butter in there. How does it uniformly, how do they do it?
I don't know.
I toss my popcorn like salad. How does it not like get better coated than just squirting pumps in a stupid popcorn thing?
I think if you were like a polo and a visor, I think that would like the popcorn has to know.
Oh, it has to know that I'm not kidding.
It. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's a movie theater employee. Okay,
no, we have to. Gotta get going. Gotta get evenly spread with butter. Broad and deep.
Oh. Oh goodness! Yeah.
I've never seen that. I've never seen two people share a seat. I'm sorry. It boggles the noggin.
Yeah, they're really deep seats. Like when I go, I put my whole body in just the cushion because they're that big of chairs. It's such a luxurious experience.
They're the reclining ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With two small people, I can see it, but it's so painfully obvious.
Still annoying. Yeah.
But it can't be comfortable. No matter how much stimulation is occurring under the blanket, it's not worth that level of discomfort, right? Like, it's two people in a seat that's designed to very comfortably accommodate one.
Yes. I don't know. And like, to ruin the experience of seeing a movie, I've had so many positive experiences. Like, I could name a number of movies that I've enjoyed seeing in theaters. Like, even if I didn't like it, I loved seeing Blade Runner in theaters. Seeing Little Women in theaters was great. Jojo Rabbit in theaters was great. Like, why would you not participate?
Yeah. And this was at Knives Out, right?
Yeah. Where it's kind of important to know what's happening.
Yeah. It's so easy to pay attention to that film.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's just so easy. It's so good.
Yeah.
That's an interesting scale to delineate movie goodness. Is a movie good enough that you would stop a hand job? Is a movie and that's actually an interesting metric by which to judge a movie. If it's good enough that you would stop that kind of thing, then it's a good movie. And Knives Out, I think crosses that bar. I think
very much so.
I think it gets. I think it's above what I'm now coining the hand job preference threshold.
Yeah.
I should write a paper. This is groundbreaking stuff we're doing here.
I think that is groundbreaking stuff. Much like our sponsor. Our sponsor is doing some pretty groundbreaking things.
Oh, you have no idea what kind of groundbreaking stuff these guys are into.
I hope that was a good segue.
Because Lauren,
they do groundbreaking. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Oh no, they don't actually like break ground, but their service, one of a kind. So today's episode of Steamy Pile is sponsored by American Express, not the credit card company, rather the fine purveyors of enhanced interrogation for your ex-spouse, lover, or significant other. They broke your heart. Don't let them break your trust. Sign up today at AmericanExpress.me and save 20% off your first month of subscription. See, now, why is this a subscription service? Who is this?
I don't know.
Who is this for?
People who get mail order brides?
I guess. They'd have to go through a lot. Okay, anyway, get 20% off the promo with using the promo code Keep the Secrets when you sign up today. A little weak on the sponsor segment, but I think it's a worthwhile it's a worthwhile sponsor, especially if you're trying to hide the fact that you're jerking someone off during Knives Out. That's shameful. That's shameful. You want to keep that secret. Enhanced interrogation. Yeah. Keep that secret to yourself.
Exactly.
Just.
And we're not quite sure what our demographic is yet, so we want to make sure that we're like throwing out all kinds of sponsors so we can get connected with the audience we deserve.
Right. And I mean, demographic dictates sponsorships.
Yeah.
We have no demographic
and 3 sponsorships.
But sponsorships that nobody wants. It works.
I mean,
the system is perfect.
The discount code, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you want some aprons that choke you, then you know where to go. You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know. I have to find more sponsors. I have to find better sponsors.
They've not been too bad so far.
We'll see.
The Blue Apron, yeah.
We'll see.
Every once in a while, I find myself just casually thinking of Blue Aprons. So, you know, it's not too bad.
Hey,
yeah.
if you or someone you know needs a gag gift like that, you should not get it and start talking to other people, because that's weird. I'm not to kink shame, but that's a shame worth kinking. Or no,
it's
it's a kink worth
it's
shaming.
it's not even a gag gift.
It's just
a joke gift.
Yeah, it's just. And how would you put it on? You can't get it over your head. They haven't told me how they worked out these design flaws. If it's Velcro, that's stupid. I think they need to.
Yeah.
Blue Apron, if you're listening, tell us how does it work? I need to know.
Yeah. We need a video demonstration for our audio listeners.
Exactly. Or you can ship some samples. I'm pretty vanilla, but I'll try anything once. Let's see it, Blue Apron. Put your money where my throat is. Let's go.
It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Have we sifted to the bottom of the pile?
I feel like we've sifted past the bottom of the pile. We've actually started digging into the ground a little bit.
But that's not bad.
There's always another pile, some other episode.
Yeah, gotta hunt it down for the next one. Yeah. But no, thank you all so much for sifting with us. This has been Steaming Pile with Lauren and Tucker. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Tucker.
And we will see you next time.